Welcome back, everybody, to Hot Mike. Don't forget, tonight, right here on WDAY Extra, we've got you covered. South Dakota State, North Dakota State. First meeting of the season, 7 o'clock. Last year, the road team won both games. Bison won down in Brookings in a thriller. The Jacks came up here and ended the regular season with a bang against the Bison. Super pumped to have our next guest on. Ratings go through the roof anytime I tell our viewers he's coming on. Here he is, the head basketball coach of the South Dakota State men, Mr. Eric Henderson. Hendo, how you doing, my man? How you been?
Oh, I've been terrific, man. It's great to be back on here, Dom. It's always fun to come back to Fargo and see people I haven't seen in a while and spend a little time here. So we're excited, my man. It should be a fun one tonight.
You're like the mayor before. You're shaking hands. You're kissing babies before the game. Everybody wants to get a piece of you.
Well, I don't know about that, but it is. It's, I tell people this all the time. We enjoyed our time, a couple of years here in Fargo, and the people are tremendous, and it's always good to get back.
So watching last night, and I'm sure you are, see Omaha loses to South Dakota, and then just, is this where we're at with the league this year? I think I ask you that every year, even when you were still assistant coaching here, that it's so unpredictable on a night-to-night basis.
Well, I think, obviously, even the last couple of years, even more, to be honest with you. I think, obviously the transfer portal, the NIL piece and all that stuff, it just kind of, equals the playing field a little bit probably. And, that with the players leaving that have left the programs and then the transfers that are coming in, it's certainly even the playing field, and this year I think maybe even more than most.
I'm looking at your roster. There's no Mims, there's no Easley. Those guys are finally gone. But boy, you've loaded up with some really nice players. Give me how you constructed this year's roster.
Well, at the end of the day, Dom, and I know there's not many programs that are doing it like this anymore, but we still want to bring in a bunch of high school kids and continue to develop young people and help them achieve their goals and dreams. And it used to be them finishing their careers at South Dakota State and getting their degree from South Dakota State, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case anymore. So we got a bunch of young guys playing, I'll tell you that much. But we also got a couple guys in the transfer portal that aren't too bad. And my big guy is having a terrific year. And, Isaac Lindsay's starting to really make an impact as well. So it's a combination of it, but I like the way our group's coming together. We're young. We have, we start 3 freshmen and play 2 more, but they're gaining experience every day. And then with the big guy on hand, it's not bad him helping either.
When you see, I think this is more often than not with teams that have to go the way you're going, or how Dave's gone with fully into the portal, it takes a bit, right? For teams that are used to having sustained success, and then maybe it's a slow start, that's maybe hard for fans to wrap their minds around, but you're gelling maybe 5 to 7 new guys.
Yeah, and it takes time, just like Dave. Yeah, like you said, he's got a bunch of guys from the portal, and we've got a bunch of new guys too. We lost all 5 starters, and so to bring them together, of course, practice is great and exhibition games are great, but there's still nothing like playing a game, baby. And so you gotta get them to gel and find ways that make them click and find groups that work well together. And that's what it's all about. And obviously Dave's done a terrific job. They're on a roll. They are cooking and boy, they can shoot it and spread you out pretty well. And I think our team's coming together too. I think our young guys, we're still making a ton of mistakes. I think there's plenty of room for growth yet, but I do feel like every time we step on the floor, we're getting a little more connected.
When you come in and won 4 in a row here, what's clicked in your mind over the last 4 games?
Well, I think 2 things that come to my mind, Dom. I think we're taking care of the basketball a lot better than we were earlier in the year. I mean, we felt like we were in Christmas season there for about 2 months. We've given so many gifts away. And so we finally stopped doing that, and hopefully we've moved on from that. But then I think defensively, I think we've made some great strides. I always look at it. We want to be one of the better rebounding teams, and we want to be one of the better defensive teams. And I think that usually translates especially in the conference tournament. And so that's our goal every year, is to get to that point. And we weren't there earlier in the year, and we've still got a ways to go. But I think those two areas in particular, we've made some great strides.
I look at the last couple of years, Hendo, where you guys have trended up. You guys are playing your best ball in February, in March. How do you achieve, without giving away the kitchen sink, but how do you do that where you're trending in that right direction when you get to Sioux Falls?
Well, I think, the rotation is a big thing. I think you have to find a unique rotation where guys that are playing are feeling super, super confident and they understand their roles. I think is a big part of it. And then, just trying to find the right time to make some of those difficult decisions of who's going to be in that lineup, who's not, and then build up to that time and make it like the climax, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, there's no perfect recipe, but we really, really harp defensively, trying to become the best defensive team at the end of the year.
I've gone 5-6 minutes without talking about your big man. How in the world did you find Oscar Clough and get him to Brookings, South Dakota?
That's longer than anybody that I've talked to before asking a question about Big Oscar, but he's a tremendous person. He's a tremendous teammate, and what he's done with our young guys and giving them a calmness is pretty special. But I've known Oscar for a couple years. We recruited him out of the junior college that he was at, Cochise Community College there in Douglas, Arizona, and he decided, he wanted to play in the Power Five at the end of the day, like most people do. And so he did that, went to Washington State. His coach left and kind of sold him on having a big time role, and understanding what his role was going to be here comparative to it, because he had many other offers.
Yeah, I bet.
And hey, do you want to be one of the guys that we play through, or do you want to be a guy that, maybe he's coming off the bench, maybe starting, but certainly not having the impact that you're having right now. And not that he couldn't play at the level, because he certainly can. But just very fortunate. He's a great guy and a great teammate, and we're very blessed to have him.
This is old school, Hendo, that you got a big man, you play through him. That's not what basketball is these days, right?
Well, certainly not up in Fargo right now. 48 of their 58 shots were from three their last game. So holy cow. Yeah. But Dave's done a great job with this team. I'll tell you what, how he's adapted and to play with this group is pretty special. But as far as our group and playing that old school way, I mean, Dom, you've seen it the last 5, 6, 7 years. That's kind of how we play. Yeah. We try to be super physical. We've had some Doug Wilson. We threw it in there, time and time again, and Matt Dentlinger, you name it, and obviously Mike Dom. And we've had some terrific 5 men. And we it's a little old school, but we still feel like the shooting percentages go up a little bit when you play inside out. That doesn't mean you have to just shoot all twos or not shoot any threes, but we want to take certain types of shots, and it certainly helped us.
Is this a to Z kind of matchup with the big guys? Because Jackson Money he's not known for being physical around the back, because he can obviously go out and stretch it. How difficult of to defend is that tonight on both ends for you guys and for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little contrasting styles tonight, which makes it kind of enjoyable. For the fan, I think it should be a great game and kind of a chess match per se. But Jackson is an extremely challenging matchup. Obviously, he's had a terrific year, and really makes you make some tough choices on how you're going to defend him out there, and what are you going to do with all the ball screen action that he's involved in, and when he gets the ball into that post, how do you defend him? Do you throw guys at him? Do you let him play one-on-one? I mean, it's not an easy decision, but you never know if it's the right one, but you just come up with a plan and see what happens, my friend.
Okay, so you saw the box score. Did you have that sticker shock as well when what you saw what the Bison did against UND on Saturday?
Well, I think it was like, is Dave Richmond coaching this team? I mean, no, it was, but like I said, I mean, Dave's done a terrific job with this group. He's got them playing so well. And it just fits this group, I think. And I'm not, I give credit to Dave for being able to adapt and play into his personnel. And they're extremely hard to guard. It's going to be a big time challenge.
Coming up here, this environment well. What do you tell, especially you got so many new guys, what do you tell them about what the environment, what to expect tonight?
Well, I think there's just places in our league that you know, are the environment's pretty special, right? And this is one of them. You know, obviously playing against NDSU, I know what happened the last game of the year last year. That was an anomaly. You know what I mean? I think the 10 previous games were like 1 or 2 possession games. So like that's what I mean, we're hoping for this year too. I mean, it makes it so fun. They're fun games to play in. They're fun games to watch. They're both teams that respect each other, both teams that with great competitive spirit, and no game's bigger than another. I mean, obviously there's a lot of games left, but these are moments you have to enjoy, these games.
I have to get your travel agent, because I didn't know if I didn't ask this when I saw you in Sioux Falls. You went to the Caymans? How was that?
Yeah, there's worse places to go. I can tell you that. But it was pretty special. You know, it was a fun experience for our guys. The weather was terrific. You know, we played pretty good down there too. We lost one to Boise State. We missed a free throw there at the last second to lose by 1 and beat a couple other good teams. So that helped make it experience even a little better. But yeah, most of our families were able to go.
That's
and
awesome.
so to be able to share that with them and have them enjoy that environment was pretty cool, because the sacrifices that they have to make for us to do what we get to do is pretty high level. So it's nice for them to be able to experience that too.
To pair that with a trip to Tuscaloosa and face Alabama, I mean, I know why you do.
I could have gave that one back, Dom. That one can go. That one can go.
But I mean, how does that help for league play when you're facing a top 5 team in the country like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it every year. I mean, I think you look at our schedule, I think it's probably as challenging as anyone in the Summit League. And that's on purpose. You know, it kind of helps prepare us to come into Fargo and understand that, because conference play is different. I know it's not going to be maybe the number of people, but the environment's just as special. And the games may mean just a little bit more, you know, because of its conference game. So to help us prepare for moments like that and understand that it's going to be a difficult situation in Tuscaloosa, it's going to be a difficult situation tonight. And how do you stay together in those situations? And whether you're down or you're up, you know, never get too far ahead of yourself. So it's something we do on purpose. It's not easy. It's not always fun, but it's something we do on purpose.
I was joking with you off air. The crazy chance of this, that the Bison football team is going to be honored at halftime tonight. I can hardly believe they picked this game,
right? Yeah, what a shocker.
They didn't pick Kansas City or Denver or Omaha. They picked South Dakota State. Just out of the blue, it must have been, right?
Yeah, they pick it out of a hat, I suppose. But it's all good. It helps, you know, obviously what a run they went on, and obviously our football team had a great year too. And like both sports, you know, it's just these games are fun to play against, and like the competitive spirit, the respect. I think the competitive respect for each other of what each program's doing, I think is pretty special. Like, of course, we want to win every game we play against the Bison and vice versa, you know, but to be able to respect each other and make the environment that much special, heck, let's go for it.
Last thing for you. I don't know if I've asked you this. You're in the submarine. You're worried about your own team. Do you keep an eye on with the guys that were there, what Zeke's doing? I know Kyle got hurt at UCLA. Are you keeping an eye on that, or is that, you know what, I'll worry about it after the year and check out what's going on?
I mean, from afar, you know, you want your guys to do well, right? And I've, you know, talked to those guys. Will a little bit more than Zeke, you know, especially when somebody's struggling maybe a little bit. You want to be there for them. And Zeke, you know, has had some terrific moments and is playing pretty well. But he came to our Kansas City game a couple weeks ago,
That's cool.
It was great to see him there. And yeah, you know, we're both kind of in the moment, so it's not as often as you probably want it to be, but you're certainly rooting for them from afar and hoping they do well at the end of the day.
I can't thank you enough for doing this on a game day. Great to see you. I will see you tonight at the Shack, okay?
Sounds good, my man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for the time. There he goes, Eric Henderson. Hendo joining us here. South Dakota State, North Dakota State, 7 o'clock tonight. WDAY Extra will have you covered. Should be a dynamite environment and should be a dynamite game. Always a treat to be able to call these games, and looking forward to tonight. We'll break. We'll take our final one of this first hour. Jory Collins coming up in our second hour. NDSU women's basketball coach. Recap last night's loss in Brookings. Much more on a busy Thursday. We're back after this.